Hello folks and welcome to another Mac Tactics. I've been trying to do a 4-4-2 that focuses on the crossing meta. And I think I have it. It's not strictly a 4-4-2. I've had to go for a 4-1-3-2. And I'll explain why. With the 4-4-2, I always found I was just too flat in the midfield. And I was struggling to get my wing backs forward or my wingers into positions that would really help. With this, and you'll see how I have it. There we go, judge your best. I am able to get the wingers forward into heading positions. I am able to get both my fullbacks forward, and I am still able to have a secure, solid back line. And that has been the hardest point. The hardest point was balancing defence with attack. I found that I could either have a solid defence or I would really struggle with attack and movement, or I could have really good attack and movement and just have to try and outscore everybody. And that was, fine to a degree, but there was always a point that I was like, it's not viable long term. It was never going to be a tactic that I could keep using. This guy loves the sprint boost, doesn't he? So what I have found now is a tactic that not only gives you that security at the back, but also opens up loads of space. I actually scored a goal with Cafu, who has always been my defensive fullback. But you see here, look how many players I have in the box. To the back post, in. I think this is a tactic. I think this is it. I think this is a tactic and the instructions. Finally, it's only taken like 2 weeks of testing every single thing. And it was so strange that it came about from a tactic that is, in a 4-4-2 structure, and I would say does exist in a 4-4-2, but isn't one of the 4-4-2s that I've been trying my nut into to make work. And you see there's Royce. That's my left midfield and my right midfield scored all 3 goals so far. And like I say, I've been coming up with goals with the left back and the right backs. It's this is I don't want to tempt it, but this is fun. I think if you had a left and a right midfield who had whip cross as well, I think you'd be laughing with this. Because both my left back and my right back have what is he doing? I haven't done this in ages. Will we try this? We'll try and see if we can get this. This is going to be a disaster. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. We're going to go this way. What was that weird stone? Yeah. I think I finally found it. Think after all the testing, all the moaning about the way whip crossing was working, the attacker movements, the actual goal or the actual answer to all the issues I had was just let the attackers do what they want to do and build around that. Build around the players we have. We'll see again. Best at the back post. Again. And this is what I am finding game after game after game. Best and Royce are my 2 biggest contributors now. I'd be really tempted. I've not tried this yet, but I'd be tempted to try strikers in those positions too. How has he got away with that? See, if Havertz comes in field, Royce is there for the pass. Oh, if only the button input would be faster. So I finally found something I am happy with that I put out to you guys. It's taken, like I say, 2 weeks. It's all about movement down the lines. Both your fullbacks are part of your attack. Look at the number of players getting forward. You've got cutbacks. Oof. Haaland. Just a bit of a cheat code. Team of the year Haaland, team of the year Mbappe. Or 93 Mbappe. Or 93 player month Mbappe. Or 92 player month Mbappe. Or 92 Mbappe. Or 91 Mbappe. That's the cheat codes. It is boring using Mbappe. Difficult to get good links in with him finding now, even though he's French. Oh, that was nice. Oh, and you got his Vinicius Jr. I've got the Thunderstruck on my Xbox account. He doesn't finish like that, I'm going to tell you that. Watch this. Boom. There you go. Once again. And then, oh, Mbappe, why did you stop making that run? The big thing I found with the strikers to finally solve the problem of where they, finally solve the problem of getting their runs. Target person, yeah, PC. Target person wasn't getting them in the right place because they'd sit too deep. Come short wasn't working because I didn't want them to come short. So I've got direct passing on. What the heck? I think this guy's just gone ultra attacking. Yeah, come short wasn't any good. So direct passing and getting behind, although both instructions do the same thing, I'm finding them working well now. Come on, tackle him. No, don't let him go all the way through. Well, that was a really bad bit of defending for me. I was thinking about doing a defending tutorial, but after seeing that, I wouldn't even trust me to defend. That's a nice wee sprint boost, and then we're going to go back post again. Oh, nah, come on. I want back post. Dee. So hopefully you guys find this tactic in the same way I've been using it, or try and use it in the same way I'm using it. If he's on side, that's ridiculous. We'll go best again. So it's good on the counter attack. It has a solid defense because Tchouaméni as your CDM is super important. You see it sets up in a 4-4-2. Tchouaméni has to be, or whoever you're playing in Tchouaméni's role, has to be an out-and-out defensive midfielder. You don't want him getting forward because if... I thought he'd pushed Carlos Alberto too high up. If you get caught on the counter, which you will at times, is FIFA 24 CA FC, you want to have that two centre backs and CDM sitting there nice and solid. But I'll get into tactics. If you like this and you've enjoyed watching the gameplay, please like, comment, and subscribe. It helps with the algorithm. EAFC is on a bit of a downward trend with views across the board, so it'd be nice just to make sure I'm keeping afloat with that. Let's get into tactics. Right, folks, let's get into the tactics. I can't emphasize enough with this formation how good it is to switch play, how good it is to overload the box, and how good it is for crosses. It is just phenomenal. Like I say, if Best and Royce had whipped pass plus, I think I'd be laughing. He's got silver, and I think he doesn't have silver, so I think that's why we see the difference with Royce. You can see Royce's whipped passes are good. And remember, with a whipped cross, you want to do it slightly deeper. You don't want to go big onto the byline with it. You can kind of hit it from pretty much anywhere, and you'll get good connection with it. So the tactics we used, this one, balanced defensive style, width 50 and depth 65. Now I do struggle a little bit with the defensive width of 50, but as you know, I like to keep it within 10, and I'm max 10. You could drop this down a little bit if you're finding you're getting a little bit too exposed. One of the reasons my thinking behind it, but keeping it at 50, is because both your left and right back will sometimes go forward. You're left with that 3 in the middle between your CDM and your 2 centre backs, and you do want to keep them relatively close together to avoid those balls between the CDM and the centre back, which will happen if you're playing a good player. They will be able to find that space, but you know, you can kind of limit them as much as you can. Depth 65, this is just where I'm enjoying playing at the moment. You can drop that right down to 55, or you could put it right up to 71, 72. Completely up to you. With old gen, as always, I would put that down to 55. I think that's my sweet spot on old gen. Build up plays balanced and chance creation direct passing. I played about with slow build up. Didn't like that. It's not the way to play with this one. Tried fast build up, worked quite well. Tried long ball, again worked quite well. But I'm thinking just balance and direct passing are the best for this. I wanted to go with forward runs, because I do think forward runs is slightly better now with this current patch, but the runs I was getting from my forwards, specifically my left and right midfielders, weren't right. So we went back to direct passing just to give them that getting behind thing. Attacking width is 60 because we do want to leave. We have a lot of players going forward and we want to give them space to play in, and we want to have a nice width. Players in the box is up at 7. Corner kicks and free kicks, I've got them on 2 and 2 now. I was just a wee bit wary that I was getting countered a little bit more when I had them on 3. So this is the formation. This is how I had it lined up. Mbappe on the left and Haaland on the right. I attack predominantly down the left. So that's why I have Haaland over on the left. Otherwise I would have had a left footer on the left hand side and a right footer on the right hand side. Rolfo and Tchouaméni have subs ready for like the 70th minute mark if they don't have Relentless Plus. Both of them are going to do a power of running. They're kind of controlling and try to hold down that midfield on their own, and they could be up against 3 or they could be up against as a 2. So just be aware of that. Always have a good sub on the bench. I've got De Jong for Rolfo, and I've got Stanway for Tchouaméni. They're my common subs I use there. Right, instructions. So Mbappe, who's not the faster. Is he faster? He's more agile of the 2 strikers, which is weird because he's not that agile. I have him just on getting behind, and Haaland I have on stay central getting behind because I want Mbappe to be able to move about a bit, but I want Haaland to be there for headers because he's the better header. Rolfo is on stay back while attacking, stay on edge of the box and cover centre. So quite a lot of instructions on this. So there are quite a lot of instructions on these players, but hopefully you watched the highlights at the beginning and you've seen the movement that it creates. It's one of these tactics that I have more instructions on them than I would normally have, but it does have a reason behind that. So she is just the player that will generate all the play in the middle of the park. Predominantly you're going down left or right hand side with this formation, so she's there just as a kind of like a pivot point or a support run, basically. Tchouaméni is on stay back while attacking cover centre. I did try him on aggressive interceptions, but I felt that pulled him out of position too much, so I didn't want to use that. And I tried to cut passing lanes to try, because what I was seeing is balls played in between Tchouaméni and Casemiro or Tchouaméni and Sol Campbell. So I tried cut passing lanes. It does work. It does make a big difference. However, again, it does take him out of that central position just a little bit. So I just leave him on balanced defence. But if you're finding you're getting too many balls played in between your CDM and your centre backs, change him to cut passing lanes. 2 centre backs, we don't touch them because we don't want them being strikers, so we just leave them there. Goalkeeper, come across the sweeper keeper. If you want, you can do whatever you want with the keeper. Left back, some balance attack. Sorry, right back, some balance attack and overlap, and so is your left back, balance attack and overlap. And this is because the 2 most important players on this team at the moment that I'm finding are your left mid and your right mid. So your left mid, come back on defence, cut inside, get in behind, get into the box. There's a lot of instructions on a player. Same with the right hand side, come back on defence, cut inside, get in behind, get into the box. We don't have free roam on these guys this time. Free roam does work, and it does offer more options. However, we just want these players bombing up and down, whipping in crosses and getting into the back post, and that is where you will find most of your goals come from. Certainly what the 10 odd games I've played with this formation and these tactics, that is what I have found. These 2 are incredibly important. So please get your best players there. Like I said, you don't add, like, Royce isn't defensive at all. Neither is Best, really. I think he's got 60 for defending. But these players don't have to be defensive players. They can be all out attack because they're going to be in the box more than they're going to be defending. This is your defense. These 4 players here. This guy is going to get into the back post. This guy is going to get into the back post. These guys are going to get into the back post. It just becomes so many options. And if you can whip a cross in and win a header, you can either header it at goal or you can knock it on for one of these players. And what I find is Haaland provides so many assists for George Best. And you see it in the highlights, Royce just whipping that ball across, Havertz whipping that ball across. You tend to find, because you've got so many players in the box, your opposition defenders get kind of drawn all over the place with their marking. Yeah, it's really good. Give it a go, have a shot with it. Really loving this formation. I'm going to take it into Weekend League this week and see how I get on. And I'll put a Weekend League Tactics video out this week because I've not done that in a wee while. And there's a few new ones I've made, so they'll be into the rotation. And I'll try and explain to you what position they're going to have in my rotation. So, once again, if you like the video, please like, comment, subscribe. It makes a big difference. Hope you're enjoying it, and hope you're having fun with FIFA. EAFC. Because we're getting a new FIFA. We're getting a FIFA 2KFC, I think. Which is a weird name, but, you know. We'll see what it's like when that comes out. Right, remember, if you're not enjoying the game, stop playing it. Play something else. Catches.